Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Triforce Podcast. Mailbag.
Mailbag. Is it mailbag? It's a mailbag.
How you feeling? You got cuddly, warm feet, cozy?
Yes.
Heating working?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, all good.
Flax, how you feeling? Cozy, warm?
The opposite.
Feeling good, heating working?
The opposite.
He's feeling frosty. He's bah humbugging like crazy over there.
Yeah, I had the perfect timing. The week before Christmas, the boiler has packed up. There is a leak somewhere in the system to the point where when we add water to, like, the pressure was 0, and the plumber was like, added
you got
water.
a leak.
Oh,
you
we got a
leak.
bad leak, but it's big. Because it was like, he literally added water, turned the boiler on, and it was like, bonk, it all just fell out. Don't know where it's going.
Oh, no, man. It's near walls or something somewhere.
So we've got, on Wednesday, got some lads coming out. They're going to use a variety of tools. I didn't know these existed. I was like, how are they going to find the leak? They have this thing where they put gas in the system.
Yeah.
And the gas will come out from the leak, and they go around with like a detector. And it beeps when it gets near the gas. It's like an inert gas, but it's one that wouldn't be commonplace. I can't remember which it is.
Yeah.
But essentially, the detector can find the area. They have these cameras, thermal imaging cameras that will see through the walls and look for like patches of dampness, all kinds of shit like that.
It's incredible. The technology is nuts, eh?
It's mad. So hopefully they can locate it, plug it up and get some heat. Now, we were like, shit, no heating and no hot water for like a week.
Yeah, right.
Big Mama Flax is coming up. I got to go pick her up tomorrow. So she, it's going to be cold here. She's like 80. It's going to be cold for her, no hot water. And I was like, this is going to suck. Christmas is
if she's 80, she's probably used to it, right? Like,
well, she's got a nice toasty flat now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because normally older people in England just live miserably, don't they? They have no heating. The council never helps them out. Like they're trying to. You see them with their trolleys carting like fire logs through town and stuff.
True,
and you know that they're just trying to keep warm and whatever.
Well, she's.
Your mum sounds lucky.
She's okay. She had a fire actually about 15 years ago at her house. The flat above hers caught fire, and when they put it out, it flooded her apartment.
Right.
And as a result, the insurance company stepped in and was like, "Oh, don't worry, madam, we'll cover all this," and repaired a bunch of stuff. And while that was all going on, we were like, "You should really probably get some central heating." And she was able to get a grant because she's old and poor and everything, and she managed to get it. So she's got central heating. We got double glazing for her whole house because she didn't have double glazing. So her house, her little flat now is like super toasty warm.
And now she's facing the prospect of coming to your cold as hell house.
It's like a little fucking gingerbread oven, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
it's like a little fucking gingerbread.
Exactly.
You cook up some little grandchildren in there.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
But so luckily, because one of our neighbors is going away for Christmas, and we've got like a street WhatsApp group, and I was like, we're out of fucking water for Christmas, GG. And they were like, oh, look, we're going away. We'll give you a key. You can shower at ours.
Oh my god.
So what a blessing. They're like right close by. So we'll use their shower and leave them a nice Christmas present to say thank you. I was thinking,
what a relief. Oh my god. Or else, God, so I was thinking about like first of all, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like the worst time.
Just
like
bad
the
luck.
7 days of that you're home over Christmas with your mum over to have no showers, no like hot water. You don't realize how annoying it is actually to have like no hot water and stuff, because you go and wash your hands at the sink and it's like that fucking icy cold water every time. Like every time you're doing the washing up, you have to boil the kettle and throw that in the sink. It's a pain. It's super annoying. And so I'm glad that you've got some solutions. I thought you were gonna have to go to the gym and have a shower, or
well, that's what we're gonna do in the meantime. So
I mean, Flax could have gone to the YMCA, but what the hell else? What's this whole other family gonna do? They just have to wait outside the Y while he's in there having a hot meal and having a wash. And
well, isn't there a
doing whatever
YWCA?
he
Isn't
feels.
that a thing as well? The YWCA?
They're not as commonplace as the YMCA, though.
Where is the nearest YMCA to me? Actually, I'm just gonna look. I have not seen. I remember there was one in Bournemouth, but I do not remember there being one. I don't even think there's one. Oh, there's the West London YMCA, which is in New Malden, apparently, which is not too far away. There's one in South Ealing.
Yeah, because you could go there. You could probably get just like a meal. Probably
you can have a good meal. You can get yourself.
You could do
whatever you feel.
and then like while you're in there having fun, you look out and your wife and your 2 daughters face pressed up against the window. They're filthy, cold. You're just living it up. You're wearing your Christmas jumper and you're toasting everybody and laughing, belly laughing. Oh,
yeah.
So it sounds like you've cobbled together some survival plan for the holidays.
Yeah, and I've warned my mum. I was like, it's going to be cold, etc. But
yeah, we've got electric heaters. The problem with electric heaters is they just suck all the moisture out of the air. It's so dry.
They do, yeah, they do, and expensive as well. But I mean, it's only for a week, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I just figured, like, she's got a couple. When I go to pick her up, we'll bring those up. We've got a couple in the house, borrowed one from a friend, so we should be okay. And also, luckily, it's not actually that cold at the moment. It's like
it's been mild.
Let me just check the weather in Twickers. Curious type.
We're full dad mode. We've talked about plumbing. We're talking about heating now. We're checking the weather.
I mean, it's actually going to be 12 degrees, 14 degrees, 15, 13 degrees. It's not going to get cold till Tuesday. So Tuesday, and that's only 9 degrees. So we've been blessed. We're lucky. The only thing that would put a spanner in the works is if that volcano goes up.
Oh,
that could be an issue.
Which one is the
one in Iceland?
The latest one? Oh,
it's been erupting away.
Yeah.
Well, we think that. What do you think that's going to take us out as well? Do you?
No. So I mean, there is a history of volcanoes and winters caused by the ash.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, let's talk about some of the big ones. 75,000 years ago, an eruption on the island of Toba. So catastrophic, it reduced the human population to 4,000 people.
So childish of Iceland. Not all of us want to live in Iceland like you have to, Iceland. Just quit it with your volcanoes and your ash.
Yeah, it's rude.
We don't want it. Okay, we're trying to live. We're trying to get warm and live it up. You guys keep your volcanoes, or at least keep the ash above you, and stop spreading it around so much.
Yeah, we don't want your ash.
We don't want it.
The Toba eruption.
Yeah,
this was so long ago. Flax.
Yeah, all right. Well, that means we'd do another one, doesn't it?
If it happened like 75,000 years ago, why does it have to happen during my lifetime? Like
because it's the 2020s.
Surely it could just skip
the 2020s have been pretty shitty.
Like 80 odd years that I'll be around.
I see. Flax, we're due for some Mayan calendar catastrophe shit.
Yeah, it's just been a shit 23 years. I'd say this millennium so far has been pretty wank. A lot of dodgy, bad shit has happened.
Yeah, but you look back and some pretty good stuff's happened as well.
Well, I don't want to bring people down, but the millennium started with 9/11, essentially.
We saw Britney Spears' career peak during the 2000s.
Peak
we know
and
this.
Trough. We saw the peak and trough.
Yeah. We've seen the rise of Swifties.
That's true.
What else have we seen? We've had Bieber fever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been pretty good already, I'd say.
You're right. Putting aside the multiple wars
I mean,
and
but
catastrophes, global
balancing that out with
COVID.
the Kardashians, come on.
Yeah, you're right. It's reasons to be cheerful.
Yeah, right. You gotta find the silver lining, you know.
But there've been volcanic winters that last like a couple of years, the year without summer, all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying,
Schminters, let's get Jedward back.
What happened to Jedward? They were on something recently.
They're still going. Of course they are. You know, don't worry about Jedward. They're doing fine.
I'm not worried about them. I'm just waiting for them to really come back. I feel like it's time, you know? Like, if we're talking about catastrophic calendar events, when was Jedward last in the media, and when are they coming back?
2019, they were on Celebrity Coach Trip 4.
Okay, well, see, so it's been, 4 years? So according to how things work, it's like every 5 years, right? So next year, 2024, we could expect a bit of Jedward action, hopefully. Maybe they can go on Strictly or something. Have they been on yet?
Cross your fingers.
No, they've not been on Strictly.
Maybe they could do a Celebrity Survivor and Jedward could go on.
They were Ireland's entry in the 56th and 57th Eurovision Song Contests.
Yes. But do you think if they went on Celebrity Survivor together, do you think that they would team up, or do you think they'd be at odds? Do you think they get sick of each other?
They go together.
So they would stay together, and do you think like they would do like an honorable Sudoku if one went out, the other one would be like, I'm going out too?
Well, Celebrity Big Brother 2017 Series 19, they finished runners up. They finished runners up as a pair. I think that they are probably
a duo.
psychopathically connected.
Right.
In a way that twins, it's always hinted, oh, twins have a special bond. I think they are literally the same person, and we're just seeing double. I don't think there's arguments between them. I think they are literally one mind.
They should redo The Shining, and then when they do the callback to the scene in the hallway with the twins standing in the hallway, it's Jedward. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That would be sweet.
Do you guys want to hear some emails, or do you want to just talk?
Yeah, you can chuck some emails in while we talk. I don't know if there's like that much to talk about.
Sure.
It's weird. It's like busy leading up to Christmas, but like nothing really happens other than just getting stressed out, basically.
Well, this is quite a nice one. This is from a Brit who recently moved to Germany to live and work. And after a year, they've compiled a list of the quirks of living in Germany and its people. I quite like these. I didn't know all of these. Some of them I'd heard about.
Yeah.
So here you go. If at any doctor's office, I assume that goes for dentists as well, people say hello and goodbye as they come in and out of the waiting room, like to the other people waiting.
Yeah.
And you get dirty looks for not greeting the other men at the urologist's office. Was an odd experience.
Really?
Yeah. So you have to come in and go, guten Tag to everybody.
Yeah.
I find that quite sweet. I do not know where the stereotypes about good German trains and German efficiency come from. The train system is terrible, constantly late and delayed, especially the long-distance trains between major cities, and complaining about the trains is a national sport. Moving here made me miss even the underfunded regional train systems in the UK. I'd heard about this. My friend Axel lives in Germany, and he's always complaining about the German train system. Germans, write in. Why is it so shit? Was ist die Deal mit the trains?
I don't think that was always the case, but maybe like just it's like a modern thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the other hand, bureaucracy stereotype is true. Enough paperwork to fell the Amazonian rainforest. Majority of things cannot be digitally submitted or signed. Thus, waiting times at the major civil offices for permits, visas, etc. are multiple months long. Foreigners trying to settle in Germany often have their initial visa expire before being granted an appointment for a residence permit. They have laws around this to help, but it's an overcomplicated, underfunded system. The Germans follow rules very carefully in some cases, but in others, it's anarchy. For example, Germans will never cross a pedestrian crossing, I've seen this, unless the light is green. Like, they literally will stand there. I've been in quiet German towns, there's no cars for miles around, and there will be like 12 of you just standing there waiting. And if you step out, they all look at you and sort of tut. Like you are meant to wait.
Yeah, but there's layers to that too, though. Like normally I'll just walk across the street, but if there's a crossing and I see like a kid waiting to cross, like with their mom or whatever, I'll wait for the light as well, because I just think it's a good thing for kids to learn, right? And I think if kids see you just like, oh fuck, here I go, it's clear, it looks clear enough, and you walk across, you know what I mean? Like you're not really doing like your service to society, right? Like you got to lead by example sometimes. So there's that to think about.
I don't think anyone in London waits.
No,
ever.
But yes, if you're with your own kids as well, you wait for the green.
Yeah. But I don't trust them not to fuck it up. We're trying to make a danger crossing. When they were younger, I don't trust them to make it. I know I'll make it. Will they make it? Probably not.
I guess though, like the German thing. I watch this guy every time, for example, I open Instagram or whatever. There's this German guy who does these little shorts, and he's got this really like scowl of a face on him, right? And he's like walking down the street, and there's all these other Germans there, like dressed up in whatever they are. There's sometimes they're goths, sometimes they're like teenagers, sometimes they're whatever, and they're all scowling as well. And then something will happen, like someone will drop their orange or their phone or something. Do you know what I mean? And then suddenly he'll like his face will turn normal. He'll pick it up. He'll be like, "Here you go," and they'll be like, "Thanks." And then they all go back to scowling again. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not actually. They're just resting bitch face.
It's like that couple on Father Ted, you know, the one that they're always arguing. They're always like, fuck you, Janet. No, fuck you. Hello, Father.
Yeah. I love that so much.
Maybe, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's more just that everyone's actually nice, but they have like just default scowls. And that's the same in London, I think, too, to some extent. Like people actually are more talkative and willing to talk, but they don't have that external. They're not prepared for it, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, talking of London, Lewis, a friend of mine was out the other night. Went to just a regular pub. £9 for a pint. £9.
What?
So
What the hell?
I mean, before the end of next year, it's going to be a tenner a pint in London's standard. No doubt in my mind.
That is insane. How do people go out drinking? Like
You just
can't.
fucking don't do it as often. Like,
You got to get some tinnies in.
well, pre-drinking is a big thing. I mean, I was out in Bristol, over Jingle Jam, drank a hell of a lot, and it's much more reasonably priced than it is in London, but it's still expensive compared to what it used to be. It's standard that pints are a £5 now. Like, that is standard in a lot of places. Write in and let us know. I don't want to hear about your student union prices. They're all subsidized, or they were. I don't want to hear, because I used to get £1 a pint night down the union, whatever. I want to hear, what are your most expensive pints? All right, I'm tempted to disqualify Scandinavians, but I do want to hear it anyway. Please convert all currencies to Great British pounds. Thank you.
Good God.
Got one here for you, boys. You can solve this.
Okay.
All right. This guy's having trouble with someone in the office. I'm beginning to lose my mind working out a turn of phrase. When you send a collection tin around in the office, what is it called?
A collection tin?
Yeah. So it's someone's leaving, it's someone's birthday, you send a tin round, everybody puts a bit of change in it. What do you call that?
Just a collection.
So you call it collection. Some people will call it other things.
Okay, I can't think of any
a
off the
whip
top.
round.
A whip round.
Whip round, yeah, that's another one, yeah.
So this guy's friend keeps calling it a reach around.
Okay.
Oh no.
Insists that it is called a reach around.
Right.
That's
And
not good.
That is a reach around is when you are fucking someone in the arse and you reach around and jerk them off. That's a reach around.
Thank you for that. That's
whip
exactly
round.
precisely what I needed today.
Yeah.
Thank you for that,
A
P
whip
Flax.
round is when you send something around and everybody puts money in. I'm just saying.
You whip it around.
reach
We're on the
around.
same page. We're on the same
We
page
understand.
here. Yes, we know.
All the best. Well, Merry Christmas, Joe. Tell your colleague or friend that is not called a reach around. He might be messing around, in which case it's very funny. I love the joke. But if he's serious, it's a whip round, not a reach around. Trust.
Yes, that's solved. That is solved. That was so easy to solve as well. We agree with you. That's not a reach around. That person should be sectioned. That's worrying. That is. I wonder if they'll ever get to the point where they realize what they've been saying and they look back and are embarrassed and think, "Oh my God, I use that term so often to so many people who probably all realized that I wasn't saying the right thing." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be there when the penny drops. I
would
like
to be
that.
there.
I like that moment of realization. Like on Usual Suspects when he realizes at the end, oh my God, that's not a reach around. Like he just fucking dawns on him.
He drops his mug.
I guess this is an egg corn, right? There's a lot of egg corns that people have and just can't, say stuff wrong with it.
It's like a Ricky from Trailer Park Boys thing, isn't it? It's like that's like a Rickyism, but I'd say that's an extreme Rickyism.
I also think most of those are like when he says worst case Ontario instead of worst case scenario, right?
I told us so.
Right. I feel like those are mishearings that have then become the thing. Like my friend who thought it was float like a butterfly, stink like a pig, instead of sting like a bee. They just misheard it, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of got stuck with it. And if you don't use the phrase or you use it and people are too polite to correct you, you get away with it. But there's no way you're misusing reach around. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
All right. This one is for Lewis. This email is a wanting to delve a little deeper into Lewis and his dating.
Oh my God, man. We don't have time.
From the descriptions of it over the past couple of episodes, he's doing well.
Sounds like it. Yeah, he might be sugarcoating it though. I mean,
rizzing up the females and sometimes going on multiple dates a week.
Yeah.
My quick question is, how? He is finding such success to even get to the in-person date stage, as I am on multiple apps for years and have never had a date. God bless.
Yeah.
Want to know.
Lewis has figured out
how
how to game it though. That's why he spent a lot of time in the lab analyzing and figuring it out, and now he knows. He knows how the algorithm works. He knows how to get hits and swipes, and the quality of the chicks that this guy is picking up is, I mean, it is top tier, top shelf.
So first of all, this was something Spiff told me a while back, which I haven't done, which I keep seeing on Reddit generally. It's if you set your profile, like for example on Tinder or Hinge or whatever, to a different or Bumble to a different country, like the Philippines, for example, or you switch your profile to bisexual. Men are much more likely to swipe on you, and people in the Philippines apparently are much more likely to swipe on a white guy. Right? This is obviously because I don't know why. Maybe it's the exotic nature of it or something, or they're looking for a husband. I don't know. Whatever it is, they are much more likely to swipe on you, and as a result, your ranking effectively on the site goes up, and you get shown to women first or sooner. So the fact is, a lot of guys on Tinder, mainly on Tinder, are just not being seen by women at all, because it actually, the way it works is you get 100 swipes per day, okay, and it will show you the hottest people first. And so most women don't ever pay for Tinder because they don't have to, because everyone they swipe on has already swiped on them. There's this crazy statistic where if you swipe right on Tinder as a woman, you're like 40% chance to match, whereas with a man, it's like if you're a guy swiping right on Tinder, it's like a 1% chance to match, right?
God.
Because men are less picky, and also men. Well, I say men less picky, and this isn't true either, right? Men just want a date and are desperate for anything, but women are much more can afford to be picky because of the way it works. However, in general, actually, women are less picky than men. Like there's
they
this
have
thing where,
to be. Have you seen men?
Oh my god!
So
man.
yeah, exactly.
I've seen a couple, and I'm not impressed.
Ugh.
There's this thing where like the men will rate, and so on average, men will rate a woman like a 7, but they'll date a 6, right? Whereas women on average will rate men 5, but will date a 4. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Mrs. F married a 2, so God bless her.
Well, my wife married a 0, so go figure, I guess.
You're not a 0, mate. I'd give you a 2 as well.
Worry.
No, come on. It's being too generous.
We're both solid 2s.
But I wouldn't advise like playing these weird games of switching yourself to gay or putting yourself in the Philippines or anything like that. I think you do need to have pictures that look good, and ideally.
Why not actually just switch to being a gay Filipino and see how it goes?
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's, I guess, something that people have always heard about someone with a Thai bride or something, don't you? Or a Russian bride.
Just go give it, start giving dudes whip rounds.
Don't emulate, actuate.
Nice.
Become gay right now, and Filipino if you can.
Yeah. All right. We got to move on. We got a lot of emails.
It's hard.
We don't want to.
Good luck, my friend.
Dally.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I'd love to talk to you about it more, but don't exploit anything. Just get someone to take good pictures if you're doing interesting things. People, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's more interesting apparently, which is again not what I'm doing, but more interesting to have pictures of you doing fun things.
Join a book club or like go to AA meetings or something. See, try to meet some people outside.
I think a lot of these guys on sites just think, oh, I must be ugly, but that's not what it is.
We're all ugly, all right. There's like 1% of dudes are not.
Speak for yourself,
ugly.
mate. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, you just admitted you're a 0, mate.
No, I know.
You're just a confident 0, which women love. Women love.
They love that. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's it. That's the trick. Be confident.
That's why you should always, if you ever meet a woman, just announce all the things that you could do.
Yeah.
Just say, I could jump between those 2 buildings, no problem, even if they're like 100 yards apart. Yeah. Here, watch this. And they'll be like, oh, no, don't.
And also,
then you've got them.
For the record, doing well means I'm having like 1 date every 2 weeks, and they're awful.
You're doing better than that, though.
Are all your dates really that awful?
Oh, a lot of them are. Yeah. But
awkward? Are they awkward?
They're just
do any of them result in any type of intimacy, like, or are a lot of them see you later?
I'm not hoping.
Do you want to talk about it on the podcast, or
no? You don't have to get into it.
It's not really like I wouldn't I'm not expecting that either. But then again, I'm not. I literally have never had I've had 1 Tinder date. It's like it's not a thing that I actually find any success on as a result. Or
I know girls who've been on the app. And they're fucking slaying dick. Like, they are smashing it constantly.
Do some people just want to do that forever, though? Do they just want to be on there?
I think it's addictive.
And just date and meet tons of different people.
Thank you. I think it's addictive. I think
they're not actually looking for someone. You just
if they
like
meet someone,
the process.
I think it's quite easy for women to compartmentalize their feelings about things.
Right.
I think blokes tend to be a bit more either stubborn in their feelings for things or sort of more overwhelmed by something, and it's like one thing or the other. Whereas I think I know this is from speaking to women who are on the apps or have been on the apps, and they're like, oh no, this guy's just a guy you fuck, and then you both know the deal is we're both going to move on. So
Well,
they'll just
I'm-
fuck
I'm-
this guy and then move on to the next guy.
I'm
fuck
terrified
that guy.
of this whole scene. I don't want any of my kids to do any of this stuff.
No, well, I mean, hopefully they will meet people organically, but in reality, these apps are eating themselves. Like, I don't think they're going to be the future of dating because they suck, and they are set up in a way that really is kind of crazy. Like, basically, like I've spoken about this a little bit before, but it is really interesting. The way it sort of works is that if you're a woman on there, you get a lot of attention because everyone messages you and says hi, and it's and you get to pick who you want to go out with, and of course you're going to pick the best men. Like, if you're in a fucking supermarket and there's a load of apples there and there's a load of them are moldy, you're going to pick the nicest looking apple.
Yeah,
right?
they're not going to pick
and
me.
Unfortunately, the
bruised
nicest
old
looking
moldy apple.
the nicest looking, hottest looking apple is the guy who I don't want to say is a fuck boy, but
He's a
there
fuckboy.
are definitely like Jimmy sex lads who
Jimmy
are
Sexlad. Is that
Jimmy
his name?
sex lad.
Jimmy Sexland.
Well, it
Oh,
might
you
as
mean,
well.
you mean like he
It might
goes to
as
the
well be
gym?
his name.
that would be such a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
band name. You should start a band.
Jimmy
But they are
Sexlad and the
called that
Rotten
anyway.
Apples.
Do you know what I mean? With bright white teeth and a BMW. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
Well, not
I know
that.
the one.
But then again, like, that's got its own red flags.
Yeah.
I think that the point is that what you have is the guys who know how to do it are going on these dates with these women, and that's fine. I think that I think it's fine, but it's definitely a hookup app for women. It's not necessarily a hookup app for men. Tinder, you know.
Yeah.
I think if you want to, it's like being gay on Grindr or whatever. Not that I've done much of it, but you know, speaking to people about it, it's very much like, oh, I want to have sex with someone. Okay, I'm in Paris tonight. I've already got 3 guys lined up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's easy.
it's very easy to do it because guys are very open to it.
Yeah.
Women are more picky and can be more picky.
I tried dating a girl who was into semaphore, but too many red flags. Lewis is wrong again. That is this email.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Well, look,
PSA.
take what I say with a pinch of salt, everyone.
I
Good
would
luck
I'd
out
love
there.
it if this email actually just contradicted everything Lewis just said.
Oh my God.
No.
Like point by
I would
point.
like to let everyone know Lewis was confidently incorrect on the Jingle Jam PP stream. That's peculiar portions. Blue Peter
Okay.
is still running, despite Lewis's attempts to have the show cancelled
Oh.
by mentioning it is no longer running.
Why?
It is
what would
still
make you
the
think
longest
it's-
running children's TV show.
What would make you think it wasn't running anymore, Lewis?
Because he doesn't watch children's
I think
TV.
I spoke to someone and they told me it wasn't running, and I believed them. And they were like, "Oh, it's sad because my Blue Peter badge isn't accepted anywhere."
Well, the BBC said there are categorically no plans to stop the world's longest running children's TV series. A spokesperson said, the future for Blue Peter is bright. There are categorically no plans to stop it. The program continues to be enjoyed by audiences on CBBC Channel and iPlayer. So there you go.
Okay, well, it's still going, is it? Great.
Still going.
Still limping on.
No, it's striding. It's taking huge strides, huge confident strides.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I used to like Blue Peter when I was a kid. It was it
You
was
got
very
the badge.
wholesome.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You just said you got the badge.
Well, no, I was talking to someone who had
Oh.
the badge, which was apparently, and it did get you into places like cheap and free and stuff.
Freemasons.
Like, it had.
walls and things.
Not anymore. Not in this economy. Fuck,
Yeah, there's
do
no way.
Shit. Here's my Blue Peter badge. Can I have 50% off a pint? Yeah, that'll be £7, mate. Okay.
So here's another email. This is a question for us all. If you only had one arm. Today at my work, we had a presenter born without her left arm come in and talk about her experiences. I wonder if it's that girl that presented children's TV.
Yeah. What's her name?
I can't remember her name.
It was like Cindy or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
She had us try various tasks, such as tying our shoes, wrapping a Christmas present, putting a pillow into a pillowcase with only one arm. One thing that stuck out is that she showed us a 3D printed little creation that allows you to use 2 Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons in one hand to play games like Rocket League and stuff for kids that are also missing one arm.
That's cool.
My question for you boys is, if you lost one of your arms in a tragic accident, would you continue to pursue your passion in video games and try to play games with only one hand?
Yeah.
And specifically to me, do you think Dota 2 is possible?
No.
Or would you look for another career path? I don't think you could play Dota one-handed. I mean, you can click on the spells, but you would fucking
The
suck.
beauty of Dota and any esport type game is you don't necessarily need to play it. You just need to really know it and understand it. It obviously helps to play it, but you could just watch a lot of it know exactly what is happening, and then you could still do commentary and stuff on it, right?
You
or
could.
like analysis, like
Yeah.
that would work.
But
Also, there's plenty of games you can play with one hand. Like all of the grand strategy games, you could easily play with one hand.
Yes,
Most
Football Manager,
tablet
all
games
of that,
you can play with one hand. Like I could play Hearthstone Battlegrounds or Slay the Spire, anything with one hand easily.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at my library now. Any strategy game you can play with one hand.
Yeah,
like easily.
Yeah. Well, I have some insight into this because of Becky, who I'm friends with from Jingle Jam, and she's helped by special effects. So she's in a wheelchair. She plays games with her eyes, and I think to some extent these people want to just play the games that other people are playing, right? And it doesn't matter so much. Sometimes they're very, very difficult to play, right? Like Minecraft, Fortnite. These are the things that she wanted to play, right? Because other people were playing them. I don't think actually Fortnite really, but The Sims definitely was a big game that she played.
Yeah.
And obviously there are a lot of adaptive controllers that allow you to plug in things where you can use your eyes, but use your chin, use other ways to play.
Yeah.
And I think I always sort of had the view of like, well, just choose games that are relatively, why don't you just play games that are relatively tuned to you playing them, like turn-based games, things like this,
like management strategy kind of games.
Yeah, like a lot of games that I play anyway are just with the mouse.
City builders.
I'm tabbed out, and But I think actually it's more. I don't know if you want to play a game more because you can't. If there's any psychology there, almost like feels like, oh well, this is I really want to play Beat Saber with VR, but I can't because I can't swing around the controllers, so I have to find a way to do that. But I feel like that there is this, there's always that FOMO, right? Like you're like, oh, is this the game for me? Is this the best thing to do for me? But honestly, I play every game, and I try and encourage people to play and try out different games and different genres. And there's so many games out there that, like even this Christmas, I'm like thinking, I'm looking through my library and I'm like, am I going to fucking play Cyberpunk, the DLC that I've been meaning to do? Am I going to finish this puzzle game I've been playing? Am I going to fucking play Dota with everyone because they're playing that in the evening? Which of these games am I going to fucking invest my time into? Or am I best off just reading one of these pile of books I've got, doing that fucking jigsaw puzzle over there, playing board games with my friends? Like, am I better off like getting my VR headset out and trying out some of these games I've been putting off? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much choice that it's overwhelming, really. So yeah, if I had one arm, I don't know, like fuck it, I think I'd be fine. I honestly think I probably wouldn't notice. I think it might limit my my speed at being a pro gamer, but I think actually you learn,
nothing
like,
slows me down on that front. I'm just...
being a competitive, gamer, but I don't really play those competitive games these days anyway, because I feel like I've slowed down.
Also,
and also
we're all old anyway.
The adrenaline of like playing Dota and stuff, it just gets too much for me, man. Like I don't like playing that sort of stuff. It stresses me out.
I like
too
to
much.
chill now. I'd
rather have something more cerebral. Yeah,
I try not to play stuff that is competitive that I know is just gonna annoy me or trigger me or whatever. Because it's just not a good time, is it? Like, you just feel like shit, You just like it depends who you play with and stuff, but like, oftentimes I'd rather just be left alone in my own little sandbox, my own little world, and just enjoy myself rather than
I
feel
genuinely
annoyed all the
think
time.
one arm, I'd be fine. Do you know what I mean? What were the other things? Pillowcase. I've got a cleaner to change my bed. I don't need that. What's the other one? Having a wank. That's fine. I do that with one hand.
Well, I need two hands and a third person to help out.
Yeah. You probably do with your feet if you were agile enough.
But also, if I keep getting the dates, then I don't need to wank either. So what's next? Like, give me all these things.
Oh my god, man! I can't believe you just said that, but it's so true. It's so true at the same time.
Give me the other things that I can't do with one hand on that list. Peeling an orange. What was it?
That was it.
I don't eat oranges. Next.
All right, next email.
You'd find it difficult to do the worm, the dance move.
The worm would be tough. No, you don't use that worm. Oh no, you do use it.
You do you kind of need both your hands and arms.
Either way, Dota and CS and stuff like that would become much harder to talk of. All the rest are impossible. But there are still plenty.
There are outliers, though. There are people who are way better at those games than I am, and they do use their eyes to control or whatever. It's insane.
Absolutely.
It's just
so we must have spoken about targeted ads at some point, because I have like
oh my god,
emails
all the
about
time.
We did. Remember, I was telling you guys about those ads I got on YouTube that I had no previous search history looking up this stuff, but I was getting it. I was getting it fed to me constantly. And it was like how to pick up young women and stuff.
Right.
My God.
So this is from Alex. I am a train spotter, and I have an Instagram account where I follow other railway enthusiasts.
Right.
I only use this account for trains and don't interact with anything else on it. For some reason, I exclusively get personalized adverts for clinical trials, particularly ones around chronic skin conditions and social anxiety.
Yes.
Oh,
See, I think
algorithm.
this is what it's targeting. It's taking your interest and making assumptions of you as a person based on them. It's got to be.
Yeah. So Alex has sent me 2 screenshots. One for a trial about helping people with eczema, and one helping people with OCD. So yes, obviously the algorithm is unapologetically going to stereotype you.
In the Venn diagram of people, there's quite a big overlap.
And I understand you're
of
as
people
a
who like trains.
railway enthusiast.
I mean, I love trains and I have eczema, so
Right.
you know,
Well,
I'm
there you
actually
go.
already, you know, in that. I mean, I'm not helping, am I?
You're not helping. No. And there's so here's another one. This is from Matthew. I have the option ticked on YouTube to not use personalized ads, and I believe this has led to my strange ads based on what I watch, mainly creators reading Reddit posts. The ads I commonly get are for a company called Mygina, which, as you can probably guess, focuses on products for women. As well as this, I have had ads for Always tampons, despite being a male with no use for these products. Weirdly, my girlfriend, who watches the same type of content, gets ads for erectile dysfunction. I wonder if this is Google overcompensating with ridiculous ads to hide the fact that they're still tracking me, despite ticking the no personalized box. Or have I truly tricked them into thinking I'm a woman with my watch tastes?
I very much doubt Google is trying to mind game you and be like, we don't know if you're a man or a woman. I think it literally just is random, isn't it? And sometimes people just advertise to what they think. Maybe they think you're a couple watching together. Maybe they think, you know, whatever. Like, or maybe they just know you're in a relationship or something like this. That's why, you know, I don't know. It's not like advertising erectile dysfunction stuff to a woman is even bad, or always to a man is bad. Like, you know, you still have to pick up products for your partner, or you still have to, or you might think, well, my partner's struggling with this. Maybe I've seen this thing about, you know, his erectile dysfunction. Let's get something sorted out. Don't struggle in silence, guys. Get yourself.
I'm like the complete opposite of erectile dysfunction. Like, my guy is ready to go all the time. Like, I need something to calm him down. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
So you need some erectile dysfunction pills to cause it.
The reverse.
Than cure
yeah, I need some. I need some
erectile
voluntary dysfunction.
Deliberate dysfunction. Yeah. Well, you could just hit it with a little
try.
Get a little mallet.
Get
a
down.
Mallet.
It's like whack-a-moling it. No, stop.
Maybe get someone to give you a whip round. That might help.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Fucking hell. These are great. This is great.
So this is a throwback email. This is about Portage.
Yeah, nice.
I had no idea when we talked
about
Portage.
I asked Shadow if she'd been to do Portage. She was like, of course.
Yeah, who hasn't? You guys are crazy.
Canadian, of course.
Yeah.
I live in the hellscape of Winnipeg in Canada.
Yes.
Where it goes from plus 40 to minus 40 every year.
Yeah.
I have some questions for Sips as a fellow Canadian. 1, have you ever been to Winnipeg?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have family. My grandmother was born in Winnipeg, and her brothers and sisters lived there. Many times we passed through Winnipeg because I had grandparents that lived in British Columbia as well. We drove there multiple times when I was a kid. It was about a week to drive there with a car with 2 small kids in. And one of the stops along the way, unfortunately, every time was Winnipeg. And it was really fucking boring, and the weather sucked, and it just sucked. Nobody ever looked forward to going. But we went.
Well, the second question was, why not? So I think Brad was expecting you not to have been to Winnipeg.
I've been, Brad.
On the subject of portaging, you should all know that there is an event held every year in February in Winnipeg called Festival du Voyageur, which celebrates the quote-unquote heroic fur traders for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, as they were second-rate explorers known to keep indentured slaves, have multiple side chicks, and bastard children on their routes, contributed to alcoholism in the indigenous population, the depopulation of furred animals across the continent, and worst of all, were French. But this canoeing festival happens outdoors when it's regularly -40, so maybe it's all ironic. Some quick fun facts about the voyageurs at Portage. One, they had to carry a minimum of 2 90-pound sacks at a time. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Their canoes had a crew of 10, weighed 600 pounds, could carry 3 tons, and were carried over land by just 4 men.
Yeah.
A standard portage was considered a half mile, the longest fur route portage being 9 miles, and the longest practical being 19 miles.
Jesus.
The first crossing of North America was by canoe, with over 100 portages of over 250 miles, and over a decade before those posers, Lewis and Clark. Thank you, Brad, for the portage.
Brad, thank you so
update.
much for the portage information. Really, really good. It is interesting.
Wow.
But honestly, it is just a really fun way of going camping as well. If you're not into the fur trade, or you don't have to portage or whatever, if you're ever just wanting to get away from it all, and I mean like really get away from it all, like shitting in a hole and stuff in the ground, portages, you got to do it. You got to try it at least once. It's fun. You just bring all the supplies you need. Just bring a lot of weed with you as well, and you'll be fine. You'll be out there for like a week or whatever. You might need to come back earlier depending if you run out of supplies. You'll know though. If you start running out of like juice powder and pot noodles and stuff, you know when it's time to go. And then you just gotta canoe back to the land and carry your canoe back to your car, and you're good. It's fun.
So this weekend I stayed in a canal boat for a couple of days.
Did you?
Yeah, you did.
And it was very odd.
Who did you stay there with, if you don't mind me asking?
A friend,
right,
of mine, and
a friend of yours who owns a canal boat.
They don't rent it, but the guy who owns it lets them live there for free.
Right.
Because I understand it's actually quite expensive to maintain a canal boat. If you have one, you have to pay like mooring fees and licensing fees and the gas and the diesel and there's tons of ludicrous cost. The water, it's a pain in the ass apparently. Yeah. So I think he has it and wants and uses it in summer and stuff, but the rest of the year round, like especially now when it's freezing cold, it's not. It's like kind of like camping, because it's cozy and it's nice and stuff, but it's like. It doesn't necessarily have all the mod cons, and I think you're constantly in fear of it leaking or something going wrong.
So
or
it's not like that really nice
glitchy
one in Amsterdam from season 3, Ted Lasso.
No,
I don't know what that one's like, but there are nice ones, I'm sure. But also, like, there's certain rules, like you have to sail it sort of 20 miles every sail. You have to move it 20 miles every sort of 3 months, so you can avoid paying council tax or whatever, or permanent. It's not counts as permanent residence, you know what I mean? So, but on the sort of Bristol Bath canal path, there's so many locks. But there's this set of like, I think it's like 30 or 40 locks that you have to go down, which takes hours to like navigate your way through.
I've done it,
and I guess it really have you. It has to be like a passion. It has to be like something you want to do, right? Like you have to be a boat person. You have to love boats because to me, I was like, I couldn't do this. Like live on a boat,
I wouldn't live on one, but we spent a week on one. When I was at school, we did a trip. The school trip was like the canal boat trip. We went all through the Midlands. We went all the way through the canals in Birmingham and all the rest of it.
Well, you had a little fleet of them, did you? Or did you
just
go
one. Just one big
separate?
boat.
Just one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we were all on there. It was like a floating dormitory, basically. And we had 2 teachers with us, and they slept at the back. They drank a lot. Like, they basically started drinking at midday. And there's just like, it was like that scene in Aguirre Wrath of God where there's monkeys all over their raft. That's... For anyone who knows Werner Herzog films, it was like that. And the teachers were Werner Herzog and maybe one of the crewmen. We were the monkeys. So that was what it was like. And this would have been the early 90s. So we got to, there is this one point where it is literally, it's a big fucking hill. And the only way up is the locks. And it is a huge string of locks. It's like 25, 30 locks, something like that. And you go in one, the water level goes up. you go out to the next bit, get in the next lock, and you have this lock key. It's like a big Allen key. You have to crank this thing to let the water in and out through these sluice gates and everything. And it took all day. That was our day, was going through all these locks, because it takes time for the water to leave or fill the lock. It's a pain in the ass. But we did it. And once we did that, it is genuinely, if I was an adult now doing it, we've spoken about doing it, me and Mrs. F and the kids. It's very peaceful on the canals.
It is nice.
And
it's really also...
So, listen, if you're listening to this and you have canal envy and you live in North America, can I draw your attention to a little city called Ottawa? It's in Ontario in Canada. You can go to it, and there is a canal there. It's not as big as some of the ones that we're talking about now. It's only 202 kilometers long. And it links the Ottawa River and the St. Lawrence River together, and it has 46 locks all along the way. It's just for pleasure boating. It used to be for commercial, but now it's just pleasure.
I mean, a lot of this stuff in the UK, a lot of these canal places some of them are pretty shit, but some of them are really still lovely places to walk around. I mean, and also so much history, right? Like, Bath is this city that was, established by the fucking Romans, and it's got all this, Romanesque architecture. Clearly people lived there for 2,000 years. And it's always been a sort of upmarket area, and so you've got like these Bathian buildings, and then you've got the canals alongside them, but you've also got the railway alongside that, and you've got aqueducts going over them both, and the river as well. And so you've got this kind of...
It's lovely, Bath.
And also
really
there's
nice.
always a towpath right along the side of the canal, which is always a nice place to walk. And so I guess that's something which, if you like... Weirdly, this was a dichotomy I didn't quite get, but weirdly, if you like walking, you will quite like canal boating, because you can go down the river 10 miles, and then there's another like really nice walk, and then you get 10 miles down the river, there's another really nice place to walk around, and
there's
kind of like
there's a point in Bath when you're entering Bath, like from the, I think it's like the south, maybe like the southeast or southwest, where you kind of have to, you go up a hill and you get to the top of the hill, and you're heading into Bath, but it looks like the entire city is in a crater, and you can just see all of these houses lining like the outside. It looks incredible.
It's beautiful.
There's certain
Bath
points in Bath that are just like, wow, you would just think it looks amazing. Like it is wild.
There's a little village called Bathampton, which is on the canal, which is very photogenic and looks
it's
fantastic.
got all those like old little cobblestone bridges and stuff, right?
It's beautiful.
Yes.
I feel like as well the sort of canal end of most towns, other than the ones that go through the big industrialized cities like Birmingham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a step back in time, because the stuff around the canal, like you said, like the bridges and the locks, it feels very old worldy.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of like you're going back in time, and it really hasn't changed a huge amount from the days when the canal was like the highways of the country.
That's it. It's really just railways that replaced them.
Yeah.
Like that's
but
how
a lot
old
of
they
those
are.
railways run along the same cut that the canal cut through
Yeah,
the land.
that's right,
and they even use the same fucking aqueducts and bridges sometimes as well, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's all sort of smushed together.
So this is called Polar Bear versus Hippo.
Okay.
Right.
We may have said something silly on a previous episode. Let it be known that your last mailbag episode was very entertaining. However, I took issue with your assessment that a polar bear could beat a hippo.
Oh my God.
First, let us consider the mass of these two animals. This is from Dave. An adult polar bear weighs around 1,000 pounds. An adult hippo weighs around 3,500 pounds.
Yeah.
This is like saying a 100-pound man with a knife would beat a 350-pound man with extremely large hydraulic jaws. He then says Sips justified this claim by listing that polar bears hunt walruses. I think I might have said that, but either way, I'm happy to be wrong.
If it's wrong, I'm happy for Flax to own that one.
I will own that one, yes. So adult walruses reach about 2,000 pounds and are considerably slower and less aggressive than hippos. And generally, polar bears won't go after the adult. Walruses go after the babies unless they're desperate, in which case they'll normally lose. So polar bears are not even very good at killing the things they evolved to hunt, according to Dave. I suppose we see more of the terror of polar bears because they're bears. A hippo lives in water. You don't really see a huge amount of it. I've seen videos of them chasing boats and things. They're obviously very scary animals. I just thought a bear has claws, teeth, is a predator. What do hippos eat? Did they just eat leaves
hippos
and
have
shit?
like 4 big square teeth. Like I don't know what they're going to be doing to you. I get
I think
it.
their jaws are just very strong.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Hippos are the most dangerous fucking things, but also polar bears are very dangerous. I was talking to Tom last night because there's that stupid phrase: if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lie down.
If it's a polar bear, say your prayers.
If it's white, good night.
Yeah.
Or if it's a something like that. And that's kind of not only terrible advice, because first of all, some grizzly bears are black and some black bears are brown.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily even know.
You don't know
if you're which one it is, right? But basically, it should always be, if it's a bear, get out of there. Do you know what I mean? Like this.
What is the line of advice? Because the style of advice exists for other things too. Because I know, like when I was younger,
rhyming advice.
Right,
Yeah,
it is. It's like color
yeah.
rhyming advice. Because I used to go to a cottage, and the cottage didn't have like a mains. So it's all septic tank, right? So, and that was prone to backing up all the time. And so the rhyme was, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Because you didn't want to like use you didn't want to like flush the toilet too much unnecessarily because of the septic tank and stuff, I guess. But like, I don't understand why we have to do a color rhyme for every piece of advice. Like, it's
I know.
Jeez.
I know. They're terrible. And on that, by the way, I was talking to someone else at the pub who I won't name just for the sake of keeping it private, but they were like, they were on holiday with someone they'd been going out with for a couple of weeks, and they were, I think, on a boat actually, and the advice was just to like not flush until, for some reason not flush. Anyway, he went in after her and he like opened the loo and it was one of a massive poo that she'd done, right?
Oh.
And he was like, this was like a turning point in his relationship when he was like, I've seen this giant shit of my girlfriend. This is the one I'm gonna marry.
What about, okay, it's fine, but what if it wasn't a poo, you went in there and she left inside the toilet like a really stinky dehydrated piss?
Yeah, that's
that would
what
be
it
just
was.
as bad.
Well,
those stink.
God.
Have you ever taken one? They fucking reek,
fucking
man.
gross.
Jeez.
Oh,
So I am just reading, by the way, that hippos are predated upon by certain animals. Yes, young hippos are generally what they go for, but there are cases where hippos have been attacked, generally speaking, by groups of lions or crocodiles. They don't take them on one-on-one, but it is possible that there is some predation of hippos. I just want to put that out there. Dave,
Is the lion still the king of the jungle? Like, if you combined every biome, is lion still the king? Or
I don't think the lion has ever been to the jungle is the issue, because lions live on
but you know, like
savanna.
Yeah. But I mean, and they're top of the pile there. But like, if you mixed in some other stuff, they wouldn't maybe be top of the pile anymore, right?
I think the shark is probably the ultimate apex predator. I would be
on land, though. I don't think.
On land,
that's not fair, because if you threw a lion in the ocean, then a shark would win. But if you threw a shark on land, then the lion would win. You know what I mean?
I don't even think the lion is as good as a tiger. Actually, I think tigers are like stronger and faster.
They're bigger.
And more,
they can get way bigger.
I think a bear would beat a lion one-on-one.
Oh,
but we're talking generally they fight as a pride. But I mean, I've seen videos of a pride of lions taking down an elephant. Like they will go after stuff as a group. But I think if we're saying one-on-one, bears hunt alone and are fucking huge and ferocious. I think a bear would beat a lion. Personally.
Are we falling into the same trap though? Because last time we hedged all our bets on a bear, which
color is this bear?
A big bear. Yeah.
If it's
brown, not a little bear.
It's
a
time
brown
to
bear.
frown. But
if it's brown, lions
if
lay
it's
down.
White, fly a kite.
I reckon a big bear. Bear is scarier. They're much stronger. Now, what about a silverback gorilla versus a lion? Who's winning that fight?
I think probably a lion. Because I think as strong as a silverback gorilla would be, lions got like the claws and like the teeth and stuff too, right?
I know, but it's got to get in there.
And they probably could move faster.
I think they might be quicker, but a silverback gorilla, those things are so fucking strong.
They are.
There's
they
only
are
one way to settle
so
this.
strong.
This is only one way to settle it. Jingle Jam, 2024. We get Bristol Zoo. We
I'll
convince
put my
them.
ape suit on. Lewis can put his fursuit on, and we will prove to the world who is stronger.
Well, I was just thinking we'll make out like we're going to just do some filming with the animals, but we'll secretly pit them against one another and settle this once and for all.
Yeah.
And
This is something for AI to solve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like in CGI. This
that
is
would
all.
be-
This is all. In a couple of years' time, you're going to be just typing that in, and a video will come up, AI generated, of a lion fighting a gorilla.
But it's guessing.
Do you know
It's
what I
got
mean?
nothing to go based on. We'd have to do
Well,
like a tabs or a,
no,
something like
Yeah.
that.
tabs.
The future. Yeah, the future. Though,
Maybe Tab should
P-Flax.
model in some animals to finally put some of these
Just you wait.
questions.
AI is
to
going
bed.
crazy. Honestly, the musical stuff that AI is doing now is so crazy.
Yeah.
You're just going to be able to type in stuff and it will come up with. It's nuts. It's terrifying.
Do you think AI could go back over Nickelback's back catalog and make it good?
No.
Yeah, I genuinely reckon that's one of the first things they'll do.
the first
Yeah.
task.
I don't think it's possible.
You
Okay,
could listen,
AI.
you could type in like Nickelback and then a genre that you want, and it'll remake it in that genre and like make it. It's so fucking nuts. Anyway, go on, P-Flax. What are you saying?
I was going to say I've had a lot of emails about Australia.
Oh, God.
This
Oh
week.
God. So okay,
Um,
this is because you said that you would never go to Australia because the spiders would eat me and a kangaroo would jump out of the hedge and punch me in the face.
Yeah.
And then I'd get dragged into the sea by a jellyfish and then
Exactly.
chopped up by a shark.
Mhm.
And then once that had finished with me, a load of fucking birds would eat the chum. And then the piranhas. There was a whole list of things that you were terrified of.
Yeah.
And then the Australians would drag me into a cabin and chop me up.
Exactly. So my point was I didn't want to go there because I'm afraid of the wildlife and the giant spiders and cassowaries and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
I would
cassowaries
say-
especially.
So,
They're
exactly.
fucking
I
wild.
kind of thought you were half joking, but also
No, I really
not.
don't want to go. Like, I don't want to go. I
It's
mean,
far. It is
we
far.
also looked at how
It's
far it
expensive.
was.
And we worked out how expensive it would be to go.
Even with you
Very.
saying that, I still
A lot
think
cheaper
that
to
you
take a
were
train
half
to-
joking.
Paris.
So I don't really give a shit. It's just somewhere I'm never going to go. Like, I
If
have
there was a
nothing
Dota
against
major there,
Australia.
you'd go.
If I was paid to go there and they were like, we're having TI in Adelaide this year or Sydney or whatever, of course I'd fucking go.
they
And,
would have it in
Exactly.
Canberra, I think.
maybe. I think they would probably have it
If
in
we were
Sydney,
doing the
but they're never
Triforce
gonna do it.
tour,
They would never
would
do
you
it. It's too
tour?
far.
Would you tour Triforce around Australia? Would you
No.
do like?
No.
No.
There's easier places to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
let
the
me just
canals. We
summarise-
could go on a
I
canal
would divvy
boat.
down for some canals. For
We
sure.
can tour the canals. Get Mrs. Flax
Let
in.
me summarize the emails I've had. They've been one of three categories. Number one, people just insulting me. Not going to read those out. Number two, people coming in and saying, actually, you have a point because I live in Australia or I am Australian, and these are the problems with living there. It's incredibly
fucking
hot, blah, blah, blah.
crocodile. It bit my fucking arm off.
Or people
Yeah.
misunderstanding what I'm saying. All right. And I had one guy come out and say that Australians are extremely. Let me see if I can find this one. So, for example, love your content, but the only one looking like a fool here is you.
Oh.
The dangers of Australia are all trumped up. I've lived in Australia half my life and have also lived on 3 other continents. You do not have to be careful all the time. There are rarely things under the toilet lid, and only in the dodgiest toilets with webs hanging around. There's literally nothing to be worried about, even when going on a bushwalk. Sure, you might encounter some wildlife, but that's all it is. It doesn't want to fuck with you if you don't want to fuck with it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You rarely encounter things under the toilet. You may encounter wildlife. I'm not saying I want to be going to this country, and I'm not. I won't go there.
Okay,
because there's 100% going to be spiders at the airport.
Let's put this to the test. Would you go to do a portage in the outback of Canada?
Yeah,
so
you would.
There are bears in Canada, which I am quite nervous about.
See,
about
this is what I'm saying. Okay, no,
I'm
keep
not
going.
a big outdoors person. Like,
okay,
I don't
how
go
about
camping.
this? How
I
about
don't
this?
enjoy it.
Would you go to Sao Paulo in Brazil?
Probably not. Mrs. F went there, and she said she went there for work. And there were some really nice restaurants and food, but it's a very poor country with a lot of problems.
Lots of spiders.
They just got relegated as well from the Premier League, I think. But it's like jungle kind of feeling. I'm sure there's going to be huge centipedes.
There's hippos
things.
in the Amazon rainforest as well,
hippos, all of that. So probably not. And again, most of the people messaging me live in a fucking city. I live in a
Right.
city. I'm not going to go to
would you
Australia
would
just
you go
to go to
Mexico?
Sydney.
Would you go to Mexico
Never.
City?
No, you can cut
Right.
off there. Mexico is
Okay,
a no.
so people who are writing have to understand that P-Flax is a very cautious man, and he doesn't want to go
He's
to
not
these
a
places.
world traveler. He
What
doesn't
about
want.
Peru?
He doesn't want to.
Would you go to Peru or
Um,
like Bolivia or Ecuador or
So
Colombia?
There was a Dota event in Peru I couldn't attend. I would have gone. Apparently, the food in Peru is excellent. And although there were some troubles at the time, like rioting and stuff like that, apparently Peru was great. And there are a lot of very passionate Dota fans in Peru. And it was, it was for a week. Again, that would have been in a city. So most places I'll go, I would rather go to a city than go into the countryside too much.
He wants to stay at a hotel.
Might take a day trip somewhere. I like comfort.
Close
I don't
to a
like
Dota
being out in the
event.
middle of nowhere.
Would
Yeah.
you go to Moscow?
No, never in a million years. Never going to Russia.
Would you go to North Korea?
Fuck no.
What about Africa? What about any African country? Are there any African countries you would go?
So
would you go
I
to
have- I have
Would you go to South Africa?
I have sworn off the entire continent of Africa. I'm not going.
See, this is what we're dealing with. Okay, everyone. P-Flax is a very cautious man. It's not Australia. You're not the problem, really. It's P-Flax being very overly cautious. And
I'm a very cautious
rightly
man.
so. You got a lot to lose. You got your family. You got provider. You got your fragile constitution.
Thank
you got lack of hair to protect you from the elements.
Right.
You're a Brit. You're a video gamer. You're not the fittest man I've ever
Right,
seen. No
exactly.
offense.
Okay, I got a couple for you. Would you ever visit Toulouse, France?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you ever go to Corsica?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you ever go to Ibiza?
I've been to Ibiza.
Would you ever go to Disneyland?
Would you ever-
go
No.
to Sainsbury's?
Yes.
Would you ever go to the pub? I mean,
Yes.
you're not suggesting
Would
places
you
that have
ever go
any
to-
threat in
Would you
them.
ever go
Sips.
to? Would you ever consider cutting down on your carbs before Marbs?
Yeah, that's probably a bigger threat to you, isn't it? Well, you are quite healthy, actually, P-Flax.
I guess.
I think that the people who are I think it's funny having been to Australia and seeing what it's like, and I saw more fucking weird bugs and spiders on the boat at the weekend than I did the whole time I was in fucking Australia.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
what
think
mean?
But none of them are
honestly, I
dangerous.
don't think Australia is actually a dangerous place to go. It's like very Western. Like it'd be fun. Like all the places I just listed of the places that you said you'd go to or you'd been to. It's like that. It's that those kind of standards, right? It's not like.
I like
It's not like,
Europe and European travel. I've been to parts of Asia. I've been to China. I've been to Singapore. I've been to Bali, and they were very pretty, very beautiful. In Bali, Singapore was very beautiful. China was not. It was horrendous. But I was in Shanghai. It was just a big city. Didn't get to see the countryside at all. I've traveled quite a bit, but there are a lot of countries on my list of I will not go there. Generally, I'm a European traveler. I want to go to places in
I
Europe.
honestly get this vibe too. I think like some people say to me, "Oh, do you want to backpack around, fucking go and see Machu Picchu?"
Right.
I'm like, not
No.
fucking really.
No,
You know what I mean?
John Peel
Maybe when I
died
was
on Machu
19
Picchu.
or...
I don't want to die like John Peel. Thank you.
What do you
very
mean
much.
John Peel died on Machu Picchu?
He had a heart attack climbing up to see the temples of Machu Picchu. The
Did
greatest DJ in history, John Peel. Died
Wasn't
of
he a
that.
bit of a weirdo and a pest though as well? It came out.
I don't know about that.
I
I,
think-
haven't heard about that.
Well,
Oh, allegations of sexual misconduct. All right, well, yeah, that was a bit dodgy. I didn't know about that.
Anyway,
But either way, he
John
was a great
Peel
DJ.
died fucking climbing Machu Picchu. Didn't know that. Well, that's not put me off it, but he was 65. Christ.
65.
I'm 47.
He must have thought he was in pretty good nick to attempt the climb in the first place.
What, a lifetime of fucking smoking and like doing drugs, probably. I don't know.
No, but I mean, like
just-
you got to have a measure of like, yeah, I feel like I could do that physically. I'd probably be all right doing it, and then to just drop dead of a heart attack while you're doing it is like I guess just a really unfortunate miscalculation. I don't know. Like I feel like you'd know if you could do it or not, right? Like had he had heart
Well,
attacks
maybe
in the
it's-
past
I don't know.
or any heart problems?
He had diabetes. I think he'd had some health problems,
right.
maybe. I don't imagine he'd never looked like the fucking fittest guy in the
No,
world.
no.
Yeah, John Peel.
Yeah, it's weird.
Anyway,
it's an odd thing to do if you're not like I know like I'm not like super physically active, but I have no desire to climb up like a million stairs either.
Right.
I
I'm
would
just not an outdoorsman. I mean, I'm just not. I don't like camping. I don't take hikes really.
Yeah.
We will go for walks in the English countryside and stuff. When I was in Edinburgh, we went up.
I think the games industry needs more walking simulators, because I would go everywhere. All these places I don't want to go, I would play a simulator where I walk around them.
I'm a terrible traveler, right? I get in a car, and if I'm not driving or I'm not in the front seat, or even if I am in the front seat, I'm getting car sick after an hour. Do you know what I mean? On a plane, I get on a plane. And like when we take off, the pressure gives me a fucking migraine immediately. Then I've got this fucking headache for the whole thing, and then my ears don't pop for days after I come down. I'm a fucking garbage traveler. I hate being in airports. I hate traveling. I hate going around the world. It sucks. And then when you want to try and do any of these interesting like adventure holidays, you're out there. There's no fucking flushing toilets. There's no like. I'm like I don't know. Like I'm just not. I don't have a good constitution, right? I've never been good either. It's not like when I was 19, I was somehow better at going and I had a better chance to go to Cusco or go in Peru. In fact, I'm probably better now to go. I'm a lot healthier now than I was when I was a fucking spotty
and then you're
teenager.
You're midway walking through and you fucking have a heart attack because you're older. So
well, fucking that. If I die, I think it's a good way to go. Fucking climbing up fucking Cusco in Peru. Like God, at least then you got sacrificed to like the Mayans or whatever, and you wake up in fucking Aztec heaven.
Oh my God,
that's fucking good.
All the chocolate you could eat and all the people you can slaughter.
Yeah,
you wake up and you're in just some sort of fucking weird Indiana Jones hell, like for the rest of eternity. No thanks.
Welcome, Mr. Brindley. That kind of thing.
Reaches into your chest and pulls your beating heart out and stuff. No thanks.
Like, fuck yeah. Sign me up. Yeah, I'd like that.
No Titicaca for me. Sorry, I'm not going.
So just to be clear, I've got nothing against those countries. Please don't email in telling me I love my country. I'm not having a pop at your country. I'm just saying, and this is what I said this on stream the other night. I just don't want to go there. That really isn't a big deal. I'm one man out of 8 billion who is not going to visit your country. Why does it matter to you? If you said I don't want to go to England, it rains all the time and it's grey and apparently the food is terrible, I might say, well, actually the food is pretty good, but you're right. And equally, fair enough. Like, there's plenty of other countries. It's a big planet. Go to one of those other places. I'm not in Australia moaning about Australia. Then it would be fair enough. If you were like, why don't you just fuck off? I get it. I just don't want to go. I don't see why that's a big deal.
Yeah, he's pre-moaning.
It's not for me.
He doesn't want to even be there.
I don't even want to be there. Yeah. You don't want me there.
You don't want him there.
Conversation.
He would just complain the whole time. He'd be like, hey, let's go do this. And he'd be like, no, spiders.
The final email on this that I will read.
There.
The final email. This I liked. The title is, as an Aboriginal man, I'd quite like it if every Brit in history had made the same decision as you to never come here. Bam. Wow. End of conversation.
Great
I'm sure
message.
A lot of countries feel like that, honestly. There's very few that were left untouched by the British Empire at its height. So I feel like there's a lot of people out there that probably feel the exact same way.
Exactly. That's our mailbag. And that's probably our last podcast of the year, actually. By the time this goes out, that's it, baby.
See you guys next year. Have a good Christmas and New Year's and stuff. Well, we might be. It depends, I guess. Between Christmas and New Year's, we might be able to do it.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down to record.
I think we're all
around. Won't go out. It won't go out until
is everybody just off now for like weeks on end? Yeah. Well, I think by the time this goes out, Christmas will be done at least. So
either way, I think we are going to miss a couple of episodes over the new year just because we haven't got a backlog or any mailbag spare.
Right. Yeah, we've had busy. We had Jingle Jam.
And I'm going away over New Year as well.
Yeah, Lewis is going away. So. Yeah. Well, look, I hope your 2023 was a solid one, if not spectacular.
Oh, man, 2023 was so bad. I cannot wait for it to be done.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Well, we say that every year, and then we pray for 2023 when we see what 2024 looks like.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
Yeah,
that's the vibe at the moment. It's a downhill slide. But we're in that bit of history. It's all divided into quartiles. We're in the bad bit. Soon, the new dawn will come, and we will all be a part of it. That's how I see it. And on that bombshell, hopefully not a literal bombshell, but on that bombshell, we shall conclude this episode.
Thanks so much for listening, and have a good holiday period, and we'll see you in the new year.
God bless.
All right. God bless.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.